home and they would show, how cool is this being from where all we're from, the Big Ten game of the week. So I get the Big Ten football game of the week, whoever it was, but it's like my little touch of home with that, you know. So, but you would go out golfing around there, and I'd play with people. Hey, what are you doing on here, Mike? Oh, you're from America, you know, yeah. And they go, you play 18 holes. And I wouldn't tell them what I'm doing. I didn't want them to know at the time. Like after a year later, they knew. But at first, no, I'm just visiting. So you golf with three guys you don't know. At the end, they don't give you the number. Come on up, my wife will cook you a meal. You would never get that here in America. You would never get that. And I'm going, what? One guy said, oh, here's my keys to my batch. You can take a lady down there, Mike. And after the batch is what they call little beach homes, you know. And they're going, you don't know me. You're giving me keys to your... But it's amazing down there. It's amazing. You would just drive just barely into the countryside, and they have these little fruit and vegetable stands. But there's nobody manning them. You walk up and pick out what you want. You pay in a little tin cup. And I tell them, America, the fruit would be stolen, the money would be stolen, there'd be graffiti all over this thing, and it'd be discovered. What does that say about us? Because it's so true.
That's a different panel, isn't it?
It's weird. It's weird.
It says we hate fruit. That's what.
No.
No fruit, no vegetables.
Organic crap. Give me that fudge that's out in the floor. Which is pretty good, really. All right, thanks.
When you saw your toys in the store, did you ever like kind of stand by and when people walk by, you'd be like,
No. I love it when people come up. I still got it even today, but even during then, especially, people would walk up and they'd sit there and go, do you know you look just like that guy that plays Hercules? Are you Kevin Sorbo? See, the guys, I think the guys who are secure themselves, you gotta admit, we're very insecure with our egos. So I play a role like Hercules, and you go to the gyms to work out. Even in New Zealand, I got this too, but I certainly got it when I came back home to Minnesota. It'd be Christmas, I go to my brother's workout. Show's a big hit, I'd be in my brother's gym. And guys would walk by, I'm on the bench press, guys would walk by, and loud enough for me, I can lift more than he can, you know? And I don't like, sorry guys, I don't like to get away with that. So I would stand up and I go, I bet you can. I'll tell you what, if you want me to make you feel even more secure about your manhood, we can go to the front, I'll get on the microphone, give me your name, and I'll say who you are, and say you can beat me up. Will that make you feel better about yourself? I bust these guys on it. Usually they feel pretty stupid about it afterwards. But it's true. And I'm not going to let people get, I say, oh, come on, give me a break. Of course you probably can. Good for you. You know?
So what?
I'm really not Hercules. I'm an actor. I would just tell women I'm half God from the waist down. But beyond that...
You get paid someone to beat them.
That's right. Damn straight.
On that note,
Where's this question going?
Kevin Sorbo Hercules versus Dean Cain Superman. Who would win a fight?
I tell Dean I kick his butt all the time. Dean and I are good friends. I was actually down the last two guys for that role. It was between Dean and I on the Lois and Clark TV series. And then we both did our screen test with Terry Hatcher. I get called that night from a manager saying I got the part. 12 hours later, I get a call back, and they said they changed their mind, they're going with Dean. To talk about the highs and the lows of my industry and how quickly they can do that to you. So 3 months later, I got Hercules. And as I tell Dean, your show in 3 years and got canceled, mine in 7 became the most watched show in the world. I'll take that. Now, we're having dinner tonight. Dean's a good buddy of mine. I like Dean a lot.
Hi, Kevin. You've been in a lot of TV shows, and it seems like every one of them, you're a hero. What did it feel like to be the guy who came in between America's sweethearts, Dharma and Greg?
Yes, I did a 4-show arc on Dharma and Greg. For a sitcom, that was actually quite a bold thing for them to do, to have Dharma almost think about cheating on her husband. And I did a couple of Chuck Lorre shows. I did 2.5 Men as well. I did Sybil Shepherd. That was his first one. They had talked a long time about me being Sheldon's dad, the big jock dad who's upset. But now if you see young Sheldon, you can see the guy that cast there, and I wouldn't really mix too well together. But yeah, I mean, it was very, like I said, kind of a bold move for them to do something like that. But I had a lot of fun in that show. It was just I loved the sitcoms. I did a sitcom after Andromeda finished that I helped create, and I hired Barry Kemp to write it. If you don't know Barry Kemp, you know his work. He created the the Bob Newhart series. He created a little show called Coach with Craig T. Nelson. We did a show for ABC. It tested #1 of 28 new shows for them. It's called Bobby Cannon. Go to YouTube and look at it. Tested #1, and they didn't pick it up. To this day, it bucks the crap out of me. Very, very funny half-hour sitcom. Bobby Cannon. I played someone we can all boo here. I played the quarterback for the Chicago Bears. And I was at the end of my career, but you know, in Michigan Avenue, the bar was Cannon's. The name of me, Bobby Cannon. I owned this restaurant, great food, great sports hangout. Kate Walsh was in it, playing my biographer before she went on to do private practice. Rocky Carroll, who's now in NCIS. He played my sports agent. We had a great cast. And seriously, go on YouTube and check out Bobby Cannon. And it was all about, you know, it was NFL draft day. We got big real guys from ESPN up on the big screen to do like the drafting. And I figured I'm going to get an offensive lineman. They drafted a quarterback out of Texas A&M, and I realized my days are now numbered. And so she sees I'm depressed. Kate Walsh comes over to talk to me, and she says, well, there must be something else you can do. And I said, look, all I've ever known since I was a kid is how to throw a football. I mean, I guess I could be governor or something. And that was at the time Schwarzenegger was governor. But it shocks me to this day it wasn't picked up. And we finally got a meeting with the ABC president about 2 months later. Because we were both just livid. Barry said, this is the best thing I've ever written. And he said, you know, I just thought it was too old. He makes the decision. You guys don't realize how many shows you don't see because of one person at each network that makes the decisions. He said, I thought it was too old-fashioned, like everybody loves Raymond, that had just gone off the air 1 year earlier after 9 years. And I looked at him and I said, yeah, you wouldn't want one of those, would you? He was president for 2 more years there, and he banned me from anything on ABC. That's how petty the industry is. He was so good as the president there, they were last place in all their shows. But the minute they fired him, that's when they got Modern Family and everything else to boost them up again.
One other question?
Yeah.
Can I shake your hand?
Sure. That'll be $500.
Hey, man, on the way out.
Hey, how's it going, dude?
Good, how you doing?
Good. I'm a huge golfer. So what are the best golf courses you've ever played?
There's too many. Hazel Kingdom, Minnesota, we had the Ryder Cup a couple years ago, was a great course. Obviously, Spyglass, Pebble Beach, all those courses. Abandoned Dunes, go to Abandoned Dunes, check it out. I'm at North Ranch Country Club, which is a beautiful Pepperdine University's home course. It's about a mile from my house. I know you guys all heard about the fires. I got to throw this out real quick in California. I landed in Indianapolis to do a speaking event. I have a book that's out, and I do a lot of speaking on it. And my wife, I landed at 5 o'clock. It was 5 o'clock Eastern time, 2 o'clock in LA. And my wife calls me up. She says, there's a fire starting out by Newberry Park, which is about 10 miles away. And so we'll keep an eye on it. I wake up very easily, and my phone is next to me, and she texts me, and there's a sound that woke me up. And she looks, we have to evacuate the neighborhood. And I'm freaking out. And I'm trying to text back, but they were busy rushing to get the heck out of Dodge. I turn on Channel 5 on my computer, which is a local KTLA in LA, and I'm watching these flames everywhere. And somebody says in KTLA, can you please show the streets? Because they're right over there, say, we're in this area, that's my area. They put the streets down, and I'm looking, and I was in shock. 3 homes in my neighborhood, dead in the street, fully engulfed in flames, one next to mine. So I'm flipping out, saying, my house is gone. I finally go to my wife, she goes, Kevin, there's nothing you can do. Just do your speaking event at noon tomorrow and fly home. I get home at 8 o'clock, got to the house. The fire came up on 4 sides. On 2 sides came within 3 feet of my house and stopped. It's a bloody miracle that my house didn't go down. We still can't figure it out. You look at the trees in it's unbelievable. So it's scary. There was something protecting me, trust me. It was a miracle that thing didn't go down, but people lost stuff a lot, you know. It was crazy. You see the video footage of it. I saw it happening on Malibu. I mean, 20, 30-foot flames. And they said it was moving with the winds. It was moving 100 yards every 10 seconds. You can't even outrun that. Pretty crazy. They were just miles and miles everywhere. So anyway, just thought I'd throw that in.
Do you want to get into DVD?
What time is it?
We got about 7 minutes.
That's it. Whereas here she comes. You put it up and I'll have them decide what they want. I made my own little DVD of just little chapters of Hercules, and she'll put the chapters up here. So make sure you just freeze it, but then we'll wait. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So it came in a little late, so I apologize. Sorry about that. But everyone in the room knows you as Hercules. Some people know you as Dylan Hunt and various other roles you've had. And that's probably enough how you'll be remembered, better or worse. But what do you wish you were known as, or wish you were remembered for, kind of as a person?
Probably a good husband and father, I hope, you know. But I'm also very proud. I'm very proud of my after-school program. I have the #1 after-school program in the state of California for 21 straight years now. It's called the World Fit for Kids. And I work with over 12,000 kids in the inner city schools of LA. And LA Unified, over those 21 years, has had an overall average of 54% dropout rate, starting as low as 5th grade. So look at the problems they have in LA. We average a 98% graduation rate and a 67% higher GPA. So, what are we doing in our public schools? California ranks 48th. They're the 3rd worst public educated state in the country. What are we doing? What is the LA Unified hates me? I mean, what am I doing during my 3 hours you guys can't do? And I don't get paid. This is, I have a staff that gets paid. We're a nonprofit. We raise about $3 million a year through different various sources. A World Fit for Kids. Go to worldfitforkids.org, you can find out. But the police love us because we keep those kids off the street for 3 hours after school, where a lot of them get in trouble. And tell their parents. Most of them are single parents. Most of them are being raised by a mother only. And it's sad. It's sad, but I'm very proud of that program. It's a good program. It's still going. Yeah. Got a question? Go for it.
Since you were a role model for so many people, I was just kind of wondering who you kind of looked up to when you were younger.
Well, my parents were awesome. I'm very lucky to have the parents I had. My dad passed 6 years ago. He's the best man my way. He went in for a hip replacement. He got a staph infection. He couldn't fight it off. He was 84. He couldn't fight it off, but he was still all there mentally and stuff. So, but as far as influence acting-wise, I love, my mom was huge in introducing me to old Hollywood. I love the golden age of Hollywood. So from Spencer Tracy to Katharine Hepburn to Anthony Quinn, who ends up playing Zeus on my show. I got stories from Anthony Quinn. And, later, beyond that, it was Paul Newman and Robert Redford. Those guys were huge for me. I got a wonderful letter from Paul Newman that's in my office next to Anthony Quinn, next to Arnie Palmer and stuff. I'm going to tell very quickly. We can go a little bit over, right? I'm going to tell really quick. Anthony Quinn, number one, when he played Zeus, he was 78 years old at the time, and I said, Tony, I call him Mr. Quinn. He also said, call me Tony. I said, Mr. Quinn, why would you do this? I mean, they're nice movies. I mean, they're good budget movies. And I said, why would you do television at all? I mean, 6 Academy Award nominations, two Academy Award wins. And he said, Kevin, I'm 78. I've always wanted to play Zeus. When will I ever get a chance to play Zeus? And it was so interesting to work with him because he never wanted to block scenes. He always wanted to have me come, just me, into his camper to go over the lines and stuff. And he says, this is crap, I'm taking all this out. He just crossed everything out. And he goes, I'm going to say something like this, and you'll think of something, won't you, sweetheart? So, I mean, I'm a script guy, I don't mind talking to writers and changing dialogue, but I let them know, and I said, this makes more sense to me, can I say this? But he just changed everything. And we had this huge scene where he's supposed to appear. They put up like 5 cameras and this big master with all these different angles, and I bring the horse in, and they're telling Mr. Quinn after they call him in, he sits on 2 bales of hay, he's dressed up in the zoo stuff, and he sits down, and the director starts telling him about the scene, what we're going to shoot. He spends a good 10, 12 minutes going over the entire scene. Kevin's going to come in with the horse, but here, you're going to appear here, you guys are going to walk over here, blah, blah, blah. And when he finally finishes, Quinn goes, yeah, I'm not going to do any of that. He says, I'm gonna appear right here and sit here the entire scene. That's like 6 pages of dialogue. It's a long scene. And then, so when the scene happened, I come in the horse, I end up working my way over to him and sitting on 1 bale hay lower to him, looking up to him. He's my father. It's still one of my favorite scenes. And he wasn't doing it to be a jerk. He's an actor. And his reasoning is, I'm Zeus, I'm the king of the gods. People come to me, I don't go to them. And he's right. It was enough for him to